Hello, precious people of the earth. Frizzell here. I am so glad to be here with you guys again. I just wanted to get on and have a bit of a mindful moment with you all. And today I wanted to speak on the topic of self perception. Now, personally, this is something that is very important and dear to my heart, being that I feel that I've always been on the self of realization and understanding who I am and understanding who others are. Just being that psychology has always had such a special place in my heart, and it means so much to me to understand the mind and understand why people are the way they are. And so, for my experience, I want to jump right in and just uncover everything. So, first off, as a child, I struggled with my identity. And whenever I say identity, I mean my understanding my nationality and my ethnicity. And I definitely believe that this was due to the time that I was born in. So I'm not old. I'm not super young. But whenever I was growing up, being a mixed child was not necessarily a trend. It wasn't a cool thing, and now it's more so of a it's a trend. It's something that's glorified in a sense, to be mixed. And um, growing up, that wasn't my experience. So my mom is black and my dad is Mexican, and it was already a very confusing type of scenario, being that my dad was a Mexican. He is a Mexican that is white, so his skin is white. My mom is black and she has an accent. My sister looks Hawaiian, and I have often been told that I look Asian. So when people would look at my family, they would be very, I guess, confused and shocked, and it always brought a lot of attention when we would come into the room. So there was already that confusion there. And then also, growing up, we didn't really talk about race or ethnicity or any of our cultural backgrounds because um, growing up, we were just taught to speak as though you're describing the person with what they're wearing. So instead of saying, oh, that black kid over there, you would say, oh, that boy that has a blue shirt on, he has glasses, he's about 6 feet tall. His hair is curly, and he had on shoes with red shoelaces or something like that. So that's how my mom raised us. She didn't raise us talking about, oh, that black kid, that white kid. We didn't talk about race in that sense. And so growing up, that was definitely I didn't have a problem with that. I thought it was appropriate to describe someone as, the girl with glasses and curly hair or the girl with straight hair and blue eyes. Um, so I did notice that going throughout school and being in different social settings, it did cause a lot of confusion because I never understood where my place was, and I didn't know, well, do I hang out with the black kids? Do I hang out with the Hispanic kids? Do I hang out with the white kids? And so it was just a matter of never really knowing where my place was. And so in my experience, I wasn't black enough for the black kids. My hair looked like white people hair, but I wasn't white enough for the white people. And whenever it came to my Mexican culture, there were instances where I felt like I wasn't Mexican enough because I didn't grow up speaking Spanish fluently. And so that always weighed on me. And it was always a matter of me not feeling as though I had a place or knew where I belonged. And so growing up, I made it my mission to really zero in and focus on Frizzell. Who is Frizzell? What is her background? I wanted to learn about my cultures. I wanted to learn about um, my history for both sides of my cultures and really just dive in and understand who I was truly, because in those moments of realizing the impact it had on me to not know who I was growing up, I started to think of my children in the future and how it would affect them. And so it became my mission, my life's mission to, it became my life's mission to really understand all of me and not just parts of me. And so during this during this process, I did realize that there were a lot of traumatic things that stuck with me from my childhood. And one of those things would have to be the situation that has to do with my hair. So my hair it is mixed hair. So it is Mexican and black, so it does look different. And growing up, there was always conflict around that. So there weren't many products growing up for my hair, my type of hair, as there are today. There are many mixed curly haired products that are available, and I'm just so grateful for that, for all the other women out there that are also mixed. Um, Definitely, it is a big difference from whenever I was growing up. I believe there was only one product that I remember, and it was so expensive. So there was really nothing that we knew to do with my hair. My mom wasn't sure how to handle it, and it hurt because it would get tangled. We would both be crying, and it was a traumatic experience. It just was too much. And so at a very young age of, I believe, 6, I got my first relaxer. And it was so exciting because it didn't hurt anymore. I didn't have to get my hair brushed in that painful way. And it just, I felt pretty. I liked it. I didn't feel like I had a bush on my head, because whenever I don't have product with my natural hair, it can get a little out of control, you know. And so that was a really exciting moment for me. And I remember every year after that, up until middle school, I would get a relaxer every year. And so that was my norm. The way my hair looks now, that's what I was used to growing up. But once I did transition into different age groups, I realized that the differences that I had were not necessarily appreciated or accepted. Now, in this instance, I remember there were times whenever I was in elementary school where the girls would make fun of me because my hair was long or because it didn't look the same as the other girls. And I remember sobbing and sobbing and sobbing, asking my mom every day to cut my hair. Just cut it off. I don't want it anymore. And finally, she did it, not knowing why I was crying and fighting for that so much. But she was devastated after that happened. And I was too when I got older, because I feel that my hair has never been able to get to that length again. So that was always a regret. But just those differences that I have, it really altered my childhood and how different girls looked at me and how they treated me. And then transitioning further into college, I decided that I was going to go natural, and I was going to wear my hair naturally curly, just the way it normally is when you put water on it. And it was a wonderful experience. I honestly loved having my hair that way. I definitely felt that it was a lot more maintenance that went along with it, and a bit more expensive just having to consistently buy the products. But other than that, it was an amazing experience. I loved my hair. I loved every part of me, what I saw in the mirror. I accepted me. But then moving forward, I realized that I also like wearing my hair straight. And I felt bad about that. I felt as though there was a part of me that was dismissing my my black culture if I were to wear my hair straight, now that I understood who I was. And that tore me up for so long because I just didn't want anyone from the black community to think that I was trying to be something other than who I was, or to think that I didn't accept me for me. And so I struggled with that for many years. And finally, I had to take a moment and take a step back and realize it is my preference. It's what I enjoy. It's what I prefer. The way I wear my hair now is how I wore it growing up. It's what I'm used to. And ultimately, it has more so to do with what my Heavenly Father thinks of me than anyone else. And so it was really a matter of just releasing that desire and need to people please, because for so long I was not accepted in many different social groups. So the result of that was just trying to please people in any way that I could so that I would be accepted. And so that was a long process of breaking those breaking that mentality. And honestly, it was just as of recent that I had that realization that it's okay. I can be who I am and not feel bad for it. I can be unapologetically me. And so that is definitely a very important aspect of my upbringing and who I am today. And as we transition, the next very transformative topic, if you will, would have to be the topic of weight. Now, growing up, that was also something that really shaped me for who I am today. I know that growing up, I was a child that loved sweets. I loved chocolate, pastries, bread. Just, oh my gosh. I love pastries. I love sweets. And growing up, that was something that my mom wanted to make sure that we stayed away from too many unhealthy snacks and treats, because it is very possible for children to become overweight. And so she did her best, but in the moments when she wasn't looking, we did indulge and we went to friends' houses. We did have a great, great, great time. And so I did end up getting a little poochy when I was a child. But as I got older and was transitioning into middle school, that weight dropped and I started to stretch out. And, I looked better. I was coming into myself. And so that was definitely something that my mom noticed. And it was a good thing. But unfortunately, I still had that same perspective of seeing myself as very fluffy. I never was able to release that image of myself. And so when I was in middle school, that's when it really started, of me being so paranoid of the way that I looked weight wise. I would suck in my stomach all day long to the point of my back hurting so badly whenever I got home. I would keep my arms to my side whenever I would sit down at the desk because I didn't want my poochies to show. And I just always felt just so self-conscious about my weight. And it definitely didn't help that whenever I was younger, I was in middle school, I did hang out with a group of girls that for some reason seemingly always had something to say about my weight and what I look like. I mean, I remember different comments of calling me, walking by me while I'm at my locker and saying I look like a Sasquatch, or commenting on my size compared to another girl, or commenting on a sandwich that I was eating during lunchtime when everyone else was having that sandwich, and saying that, oh, she is what she's eating. And so it's just like little things like that that started to break me down bit by bit. It stuck with me. And looking back now, I'll talk to my mom about it. And she's like, Frizzell, you were so tiny. You were tiny during that time. And to think that those girls and those groups of girls that I hung out with, they they spoke to me that way. They spoke over me that way. Words are so powerful, and it stuck with me for the rest of my life. I even think about those things that happened today. And so over the course of time, it caused me to have a really unhealthy view of what it meant to be healthy. And as I got into high school, I realized that if I wanted to be fit, I needed to make sure that I was being proactive in my younger age, because I had read something, an article or something, heard someone say that how you are when you're in high school is how you're going to ultimately be in your adult life. And so I stuck to that. I clung to it. I had a number that the doctor gave me of what my weight should be as an adult, and I worked so hard every single day, every chance I got. I was running, I was lifting weights. It became an obsession because I was trying to fit this mold of who I thought I was supposed to be. And probably because I had those words from those girls, even just a young age of being what in middle school, 11, 12 years old, and just hearing it over and over again of what they felt I looked like or what they thought of me. And it's just very interesting to see how that evolved. And so as I got older, I was in college, and it became a matter of me just working out all the time to the point where it wasn't healthy. It was a matter of an excessive amount of working out and watching what I ate. Not that watching what you eat is bad, but it would be a matter of, only allowing myself to eat one sweet thing a week. And when I would eat it, I would immediately have to go to the gym afterwards, or I would feel as though I gained that weight in that moment. It would be a matter of being at the gym and weighing myself every single day, missing different activities because I felt like, well, if I don't work out, I'm not going to feel good about myself during this activity. So I won't even want to be there. So it's like the gym and fitness ended up consuming my life. And I joke around now and say I was the unhealthiest healthy person you would have ever met. And so that definitely took some time for me to release. And it's something that I'm definitely still working on because my workout routine has changed since graduating. And now I'm working full time. I'm getting my master's. I'm working on music. I'm writing. So there's so many things going on. And it still is something that would come back into my mind. And I would remember, well, you used to run so much. You were at your weight and you stayed there. You looked amazing. But then I remembered, even in those moments of getting to that weight that the doctor said I should be at as an adult, even with knowing that I was smaller and hearing people say it over and over again that I was smaller, I still saw that Poochie girl. I still saw someone in the mirror that I was not pleased with. And so ultimately, it all ties back into the fact that it has to do with the way my Heavenly Father sees me first, and understanding His love for me before I could understand how to love myself. And so I really just had to release the way others perceived me, and really just focus my attention on God and what He says is true about me. And ever since doing so, I have experienced a release, and I do feel as though I'm better in that sense, and I'm learning, what works for me and what doesn't work for me. And so it's definitely been a journey, but I can honestly say that I'm learning who I am every day, and my self-perception has improved tremendously. And so I just want to say to you all today, for anyone who is experiencing issues or troubles with not knowing who they are, or identity, not understanding who you are, or self-perception or body image, I just want you to know that you are beautiful. You are loved. If you never hear this, I'm here to tell you today that there is something about you that is beautiful. And I just want you to focus on that one thing. If it's only one thing you can think of, just focus on that and just know that there is a God that loves you dearly. It doesn't matter what anyone else says about you. It doesn't matter the lies that the enemy has tried to put in your mind. You are loved, and that ultimately is the only thing that you need to focus on moving forward. Now, if you guys have any questions, if you have any concerns and you just want to talk to someone, or you want to understand the things that I've been doing moving forward a bit more in depth, to receive my breakthrough from this lack of understanding regarding self-identity and body image, please feel free to reach out. I will make sure to link all of my social medias below, and we could definitely chat it up and get to know each other and really go on this journey together of growing and becoming. So I look forward to seeing you all next time. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next video.